What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rico the Acronym, and it's definitely time for a good Rico's Rant, baby. That's right, I'm in here. Today, I want to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, and it's the idea of being trashed by your own people. Anybody that watched the controversial special, The Closer, that Dave Chappelle did, if you watched the end, if you made it to the end, you definitely heard a story about a trans woman that was a big fan of his. That as soon as he made some off-color jokes, and the trans community kind of started going in on him, she, as a comedian and friend of his, was like, "This was really funny. I don't know what y'all are talking about." And the entire trans community just kind of turned on her. And not too long after that, she killed herself. And this is something that people do not like to talk about, because usually the emotions build up into sort of kind of a fuck it. Like, all right, I'm through with this shit. I'm just done. That's where you get like stupid ass people that's like, "Oh, I'm just a person. I don't have a race." You get people that's where they get that shit from. Not everybody now, not everybody, but a lot of people get that shit from that bullshit. And that's not trying to make an excuse for anybody's stupidity or excuse for anybody's ignorance. It's not. But it is ridiculous to me, and it always has been ridiculous to me, how somebody can be black or gay or trans or Christian, Muslim, Jewish, this or whatever, and as soon as they do the thing that quote unquote the majority of that sect of humanity is doing, as soon as that's not what they doing, all of a sudden they're not that anymore. You're not black anymore. I very rarely, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say you're not gay anymore. I don't know how that works. But you definitely, you get more shit from your own people as soon as you say something, not something that is bad for your people, not as something that is that is against what is gonna help your people, just something you don't agree with, just something you don't see eye to eye with, like quote unquote everybody else in that sect does. And what people don't like to talk about and what they don't want to bring up is the mental effects that has on the people that that go through that shit. Because especially when you're black in America, being thrown away by your race can be extremely mentally damaging. Can really fuck with your head. And that's not trying to give an excuse to black conservatives, black Republicans, people that have done shit that is just bad for black people as a whole, only good for rich black people, really barely that. It's not an excuse, okay? But it is ridiculous how we kick people out and we shove them to the side and we go, "No, you're not this anymore." One of my least favorite sayings ever, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. That shit has got on my nerves so many times, because we act like motherfuckers that betray the black community all look a certain way, or all act a certain way, or all are doing the same kind of shit. That's just not true. It's just not true. And this, the way people hop down each other's throats is very reminiscent to the way white people will do this to, they do this shit to each other too. When the white girl goes off and dates the black guy and all of a sudden she's a nigger lover, you know what I'm saying? Or all of a sudden she's, whatever. When the black guy goes off and gets jungle fever, I still don't understand why people think the words jungle fever is cute. It's not. You're saying that a motherfucker went to the jungle and got a woman or got a man. That's some bullshit. That's really some bullshit. So it's just very interesting how we separate within our marginalized groups. Black, gay, Asian, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, Middle Eastern, anything. It's amazing how we divide ourselves within the shit. And what is hilarious to me is that a lot of these groups are the main groups talking about the man doing this and the white man doing that, and the powers that be separating us and dividing us. A lot of this shit is within the community. A lot of this shit is within these marginalized communities. Not all of it, Not even close to a majority of
Not all of it. Not even close to a majority of it.
Not all of it. Not even close to a majority of
it. So I'm not giving anybody no leeway in these governmental systems that's fucking us over systematically. I'm not trying to say that doesn't exist, but what I will say is that these are issues we do have to deal with within the community. Holding ourselves accountable to our own bullshit. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't. And I think it's a fucking shame when somebody does something and all of a sudden people want to kick them out of this whatever group, because you can't kick a trans person out of the trans group. You can't kick a black person out of being black. You can't kick an Asian person out of being Asian. It does not work like that. It just doesn't. And the idea of doing that, especially doing it to kids, that's where it really pisses me the fuck off, is when you do it to children. When you feed these ideas of blackness or correctness or whatever to these kids and go, that's the way you gotta be. See, people say that that's what the gay community is doing in cartoons, and all this inclusion with gayness and everything is such an issue, and it's like, no, it's not, because nobody's forcing that down your kids' throats. Oh, well, they're forcing it down our kids' throats the way being on the cartoons. No, in that case, then they're forcing straight shit down they're forcing all types of shit down your kids' throats, if that's what you're worried about. But you wasn't worried about none of that shit until somebody decided that a character was going to be gay on a children's show. And then somebody comes along and disagrees with you. If you're black or, you know, Christian or whatever, now all of a sudden you're questioned within your own community. That's that bullshit, y'all. That's that bullshit. No matter how fucked up Ben Carson is, and mind you, I am not a fan of Ben Carson, but Ben Carson is still as black as the day is long. All right? That's just what it is. I'm not a fan of it. If I could change it, I would. But I can't change the fact that he had a black mother and black ancestors. Nothing I can do about that. Nothing you can do about that. So while we're fighting the good fight against those that really are in power, that really are marginalizing us and fucking us off systematically, we have got to stop separating within the fucking ranks. It's got to stop. But fucked up part is, it's not going to. It's not going to, because there are always going to be people that think differently, live differently, and there's going to be other people that don't think that's correct. The solution, I believe, is everybody minding their own fucking business. In all honesty. Just minding your own fucking business. But that's not going to happen. We live in a world of technology and communication. So what is there to do? I don't know. I really don't. But I know what the answer isn't, and that's trying to kick people out of a subsect of humanity because you don't agree with what they said. You don't agree with what they did. They're still that very much. All that, oh, they ain't black, oh, they ain't this, oh, they ain't that. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. And people are going to say, oh, you keep on saying black, oh, you keep on saying black. That's where I see it the most. I honestly, I've never seen this in the gay community. I'm not a part of the gay community, so I wouldn't see a lot of shit. But I've never heard of that in the gay community. I've never heard of that. I've never heard somebody in the trans community go, oh, that person's not really trans. They're just, you know, and if it's in there, let me know, because I don't know. I'm not a part of the shit. So if it's in there, let me know in the comments. Holla at me. Educate me on what's going on, because I'm not educated on it. You dig? I want to know, because I know I can be wrong sometimes. So put me on game. But I know I see it more in the black community than anything, and that's because black. So anyway, I think I done said all I got to say about this shit, man. Y'all know what to do, man. Like, subscribe, holla at me in the comments. If you got anything you want to disagree with, any points you want to point out that maybe I was wrong at, something you need to educate me on, please let me know in the comments. Holla at me. I am willing to open discussion. I know I'm not right all the time, and you know sometimes I'm going to be wrong, and I'm just going to have to admit it. But you're going to have to prove it to me. I'm out of here. It's your boy Rico. Peace.